Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show that talks about what you're talking about. This is a two-way conversation that we want you to be a part of. And we're going to dive into a couple of sports-related topics today, from the upcoming MLB All-Star game that's coming up in a couple of weeks. Will the real Matt Landers Seahawks player please step forward, and a petition to rename the city of Seattle? It's time to sound off on Sound On.
Let's just get right into it, Steve.
Let's do it.
Let's start
Episode 4.
Episode 4, I love it. We're going to start with All-Star Weekend because actually one of our Sound On viewers, Daniel Burrow, you reached out and said that you would like to hear about what Seattle is doing to prep for the All-Star game. So we're going to talk about it. I'm so excited for this
weekend.
I
am too. It's like the excitement is building for this thing. You can start voting for players right now.
Julio.
Shout out to Julio.
Julio. You can vote 5 times a day, every 24 hours.
Yeah, and that's until next Thursday, June 22nd. And that's for the first round, just to sort of decide who potentially might play in the game coming up, which is really cool.
MLB says that first round of voting is actually one of the most important. So
get those votes in for Julio and all the other Mariners players.
Especially Julio. Anyway.
I like Julio on this show.
Let's get to what the city is doing to prepare for All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
So I found this event that's being hosted by the Mariners, the Chamber of Commerce, and Together Washington. They're bringing everyone together for a giant volunteer cleanup. It's going to be a day of service, basically, a community cleanup at T-Mobile Park. So they're asking everyone to join them June 23rd, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. to help clean up the area. The big question is, though, will this work or not? Is one day of community cleanup going to be enough to prepare for All-Star Weekend?
And it's about 3 hours, so is that going to be enough time to spruce up that area, knowing all these people are coming into the city for this big week?
It's a very short amount of time, but they are offering free refreshments.
A refreshment always entices me to help
Free
clean up.
refreshment. So people are weighing in on this. Of course, there's the negative comments.
Yeah.
Someone says, hard pass. Somebody said, gotta look good for the cameras. Someone said, they think 3 hours of work, 3 weeks before the game will accomplish this. The event is 2 weeks before the game. The area will be trashed again before the event starts. So, I mean, valid points, but there are some positive comments as well. Someone else weighed in and said, it's not that deep. The same thing happened in Atlanta when the Olympics were in town. Every major city does this. And someone else said, good, this is awesome. I'll take a few weeks in July of a clean Seattle.
And you got to think about, we are playing to a global audience, right?
Exactly.
So you want there to be a good impression as you're like showing all these shots of T-Mobile Park and the area around the ballpark. You want to make sure they're kind of in tip-top shape, right? Get people to enticed to come to Seattle and check us out, I think.
And we do want our city to look beautiful.
We do,
so,
yeah.
The community cleanup is one thing, and there's also some new security ramp-ups as well.
There is, yeah. So our Denise Whitaker with KOMO actually did a story about how they have some bomb-sniffing dog training for Seattle. You have the TSA, the Transportation Security Administration, you have the FBI. They're doing like these exercises with police dogs and their handlers around Lumen Field, T-Mobile Park, that sort of thing. TSA actually said it's important that they have these teams because they know that everybody or some people are going to want to disrupt a major event like the All-Star game. And then maybe seeing like a police dog could act as a deterrent. So you're going to have security. You're obviously going to have a lot of police officers around the area just to make sure that that area is secure, knowing that it's all these people coming into the SoDo area of Seattle. But the question is that going to be enough? Like, are the bomb-sniffing dogs, are those going to be a deterrent? Like, if somebody's planning something, is that going to be enough to be like, no, maybe I shouldn't go through with this type thing?
You know, the questions are valid.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to wait and see. And of course, we're going to be continuing our coverage on All-Star Weekend Prep on all of our KOMO News platforms. So just keep in touch with us, stay in tap. And Steve, you actually have experience in All-Star Weekend.
I do. So 20 plus years ago, we hosted the All-Star game in 2001. And I volunteered for Fan Fest, which is like that week of events leading up to the big game, which was really fun. It's a really cool experience, and they're having Fan Fest again this year. But you had the green All-Star jersey that had the, just American printed on the front for the American League, the patch, and it was just really cool. It was really fun. I was like early 20s, I think I was at the time.
Do you still have that jersey?
No, because it was like it was huge on me for some reason.
Oh, okay.
That might have been the look in the early 2000s. I don't know, but
That definitely was.
yes. But I think we have some video. We're showing some video of what they look like when the players had them on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. We look forward to it. That's going to be a cool event to bring
I'm
to our
looking forward
city,
to it
right?
too. Yeah.
That kind of leads us to our next topic. Ooh, we're talking about fashion. We're talking about the color green, the color blue. We've got this segment, everybody. It's called Sink or Swim. It's basically like it or not, hate it or love it, sink or swim. Get it? All right.
Got it.
The
Good.
Seahawks.
Yeah.
We love our football team, right?
Love the Seahawks.
They are making a lot of people happy, announcing that they're going to be bringing back their 90s throwback jerseys for the 2023 football season.
Back to the basics.
Back to the basics.
Back to the
are you
basics.
excited for this?
I am excited about it. You know, I think it's always kind of nostalgic to go back to the old uniforms
Yeah.
when you have a sports team that has been through a couple of different changes. And it's kind of fun to wear the old school type of uniform. You know, I think it makes a lot of people excited about celebrating the team's history.
Speaking of nostalgia, I mean, you're looking right now on your screen at this video that they released on Twitter, and it basically includes a lot of nostalgia from the decade, the 90s, and also the early 2K years, whatever you want to call it. But this is how we're thinking the jersey might look. This is a throwback picture of how those jerseys looked in the 90s, but we, of course, won't know until their first fall home game, which is going to be October 29th against the Cleveland Browns. Or maybe that's not the first game, but that's the fall game we're going to know about. We're going to know the jerseys.
And they're actually going to announce the retail launch plans. They're going to reveal those later on this summer, so we'll kind of have a better idea of the timeline, I think, of what that's going to look like when they come out.
We look forward to it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of you are also looking forward to those new jerseys. We gathered some of the comments from Facebook. John Davidson said, "I'm ready and wish they'd go back to wearing them full time." Look at Dick's comment, Steve.
Anything but those god-awful fluorescent green uniforms.
What do you think about those fluorescent green
You know,
uniforms?
they're not really my favorite. It's a very bold color. It's kind of like, oh.
It's a little in your
I
face.
mean, I can respect it for what it is. It's not my favorite, I would say.
You know, it was fun while it lasted, but I mean, the memes were coming hard when they were wearing those fluorescent green jerseys.
And then did you see that photo that we found from Theron Zahn wearing the throwback too?
Yeah, that's the jersey.
Amazing.
That's awesome. He's doing the little, what is it, stiff arm? Heisman?
Theron looks
Heisman?
like he's a little bit younger in that photo.
does.
Sorry, Theron.
We love
Sorry
you,
about
Theron.
it. Sorry about it. But the green, speaking of the green, we've kind of seen a version of this before, and you love this photo.
That's my favorite Seahawk jersey. Sierra, I believe it was the 2021 Met Gala. She looked great repping her hubby, but I know
great.
that's controversial now.
I mean, Russell has moved on to Denver, and hopefully, you know, he's doing well. Sierra has moved on. We appreciate what they did for Seattle.
But the dress is still lit. Like,
the dress is still lit. I gotta admit, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. That's a really good photo.
it's a good color. Good
Do you
photo.
like the fluorescent green uniforms?
The fluorescent green was not my favorite.
Okay.
I didn't think it was horrible, but I thought the memes were so on point with the uniforms.
Yeah.
Someone compared the fluorescent green uniforms to the little aliens from Toy Story.
Oh my.
And then of course the highlighter.
Of course.
the
It looks
green
like a highlighter green, the Sharpies, yeah.
They look like highlighter Sharpies.
With the little Seahawks logo on top, yeah. We know that there's going to be a ton of themes. So obviously a lot of people are looking forward to the old school throwback with the jerseys, right? There's a number of themes that the team introduced or said or revealed a couple of weeks ago. One is their 10th anniversary of the Super Bowl win from mid-2010s-ish.
Oh my goodness, it's already 10 years.
It's already been 10 years. It's been so long and we haven't had another one since. It is time, Geno Smith. Let's go.
Maybe this fall.
Hopefully. So that's going to be on their upcoming game on September 24th against the Panthers. Several other themes. They have the kickoff against the Rams on September 10th, crucial catch against the Cardinals on October 2nd, and that's to raise awareness for early cancer detection, which is obviously super important. The salute to service game against the Commanders on November 12th, which honors service members and particularly our nation's Purple Heart veterans, and then Inspire Change, which is honoring the great Walter Payton, NFL Man of the Year Award nominee on December 17th. That's against the Eagles.
Look at that.
It's going to be an awesome season, I think.
Fun-filled season.
Yeah.
Lots of great events. And you know what's been trending on our site? One of our very own KOMO News employees.
Are you talking about Matt Landers?
I'm talking about Matt Landers,
Matt
Steve.
Landers. Which Matt Landers?
The Matt Landers who thought he was a part of the Seahawks,
Oh.
but apparently he's not a part of the Seahawks. Take a look at this clip.
Hey everybody, I'm Matt Landers. I'm here for my first Seahawks practice after being signed by the team.
I'm Matt Landers.
Oh.
Pete, you got a rookie receiver out there, Matt Landers. My photographer here, his name, Matt Landers. I just want to clarify, are you sure you don't want this guy out there?
I don't know. Ned Flanders? Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious.
That's
so
funny.
to just give some context, Matt Landers is our photographer here at KOMO News. There's
Okay.
also a Matt Landers on the Seahawks. He's been practicing with the team all spring and all summer.
He's a wide receiver.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were able to make that interaction happen.
And we even asked Coach Carroll about it too. I think he was
Yes.
kind of having a good time with it too. It's kind of fun. Check it out on our website if you want. Yeah, it's a really cool story. The other thing that I have been like flying high as a kite this week about is this love for Seattle Storm legend Sue Bird.
Yes.
There was her big jersey retirement at Climate Pledge Arena over the weekend. It was a long ceremony, I'll admit, 3 hours long.
Ooh, 3 hours.
But as I was telling somebody, it was kind of like a metaphor for wanting her time with the Storm to keep going on. We don't want it to end. 21 seasons in Seattle, 4 WNBA championships, 5-time Olympic gold medalist. And we actually came across this change.org petition to rename the city of Seattle Sueattle in honor of Sue Bird. And it has several hundred signatures have signed on to this, thousands of likes on the Instagram post
Wow.
too. So
people want this change.
some people do want this change. I think it's kind of fun, but then also would take away from our Native American history, which is super important, of course, in Seattle being named after Chief Sealth. But it has a lot of interest.
Hey, we don't want to completely change the name of our city,
No.
but we do love Sue.
Have some fun with
We're
it.
going to honor her still.
Yeah.
Sueattle, Washington.
Number 10, hanging from the rafters in Climate Pledge Arena for forever.
Congratulations, Sue Bird.
Well deserved. And that green suit that she was wearing at that ceremony.
Rocking it.
Oh, she looked good. Megan Rapinoe looked good too.
Now that's how you do fluorescent green.
Yes. I was thinking that when she walked in. Yes. I was like, okay.
That's how you do
it's done.
fluorescent green.
That's how it's done. Yeah.
Let's jump out of cruising ahead. We've got a great weekend on tap for you all. I mean, we're talking music festivals, we're
Yes.
talking food, we're talking Father's Day,
Yes.
holidays. We have it
Juneteenth
all.
coming up on Monday. Yeah.
Yeah. Steve,
Yes.
33rd annual Fremont Solstice Parade. I've never participated in
Okay,
this.
you've never been to this. It is
No.
a thing, right? Lots of people come out for this. The festival on Saturday, it's going to start at 2. There's the parade. There's all these community groups that are taking part, about 60 of them. You got dancers, you got floats, you got stilt walkers, you got puppets,
Okay.
cyclists, musicians. And the thing that catches a lot of people by surprise sometimes that have maybe never been to it before is the nakedness.
What?
This is a thing.
People are not wearing their clothes?
Some people are not wearing their clothes when they're riding down the street. They're painted, so the parts are painted, but if you've never been to it before, it might take you by surprise.
So is this for kids? Can families go to this? Or
Families can go to it, yes. I think it's a love body image.
Oh,
Celebrating,
you know.
people come in different shapes and sizes and colors, and it's wonderful.
It's the summer solstice.
Yes,
Be
it's-
free who you are.
Yes,
Nakedness
yes.
with the paint.
It's fun. It's really fun. You gotta have fun with it.
Love it, love it.
Yeah. All right. And then the
Okay.
other big thing, of course, coming up this weekend is Father's Day, which is Sunday, June 18th, a time to celebrate all of the dads and father figures in our lives, right?
yes.
And you always like trying to figure out, what are you going to do with dad, right? Are you going to take him golfing? Are you going to go to a sporting event? Are you going to do some fishing? We have a couple of other ideas that you might want to check out. So one of them is Ballard Brewed, which is a Father's Day weekend brew fest taking place in Ballard. It's not coming to Merrimore Park this year, so they're bringing a version of it to Ballard. So that's going to happen on Saturday and Sunday of the weekend.
Okay.
And all these brewers that are selected are going to have guest taps over the weekend. So it's a really good way to have some fun with some dad, maybe check out some local brews and support them as well.
My dad loves a good beer.
My dad does not drink,
That's
but
okay.
maybe I can have his.
You can have
beer
his,
that he
you can
doesn't
drink his.
drink. Yes. Thanks, Dad. I don't know what he's going to do during that time, but it'll be nice to spend it with him.
Great event nonetheless.
Yeah. And we got a car show too.
Yeah, this is in Issaquah.
Issaquah. Okay. And this goes from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. Hundreds of vintage cars, classic cars at Fenders on Front Street. So it's got breakfast, food trucks, live music, family activities, and free.
It's free.
It's free.
Okay, bring the families out. I'm sure
Yes.
the kids are going to love to see some vintage and
We love
classic
free
cars.
events. Yeah.
That sounds good. That's like, the quintessential Father's
It
Day
is.
thing, like cars, beer.
Yeah, so we got Saturday check, Sunday check. Monday's also a big day too.
Monday is a big day. Monday is Juneteenth. It's a very historic day. It commemorates the emancipation of enslaved African Americans, going way back when. Tons of great events as well to celebrate Juneteenth with the family and 21 and up. Hey, we got you covered too. This first one I want to talk about is actually happening on Saturday. That's June 17th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. in Rainier Beach. There's going to be a big celebration with food trucks, vendors, kids activities, all the fun and games. And then 21 and up. Told you I got you covered. There's going to be a Juneteenth party at Mopop right here at the Seattle Center.
Okay.
They are calling it 50 transformative years of hip hop history, fashion, and sound. So it's going to include some panels with some entertainment industry people here in the city.
Sweet.
There's going to be a rap contest.
Oh, cool.
Guest artists, exhibitions, live dancing, music. Yeah, that
All
freestyle
that sounds like a
rap
good time.
battle. I mean, should we give them a little preview of the freestyle rap battle?
Oh boy.
Sound
That was
on.
awful. That was really
I know.
awful.
If you want to hear some real hip hop and some real rap, maybe go to Mopop for that Juneteenth celebration. I just embarrass myself every day. Anyway,
It sounds like a good weekend.
sounds like a good weekend. We got something for everybody.
Maybe the weather won't cooperate as much as we hope it would, but it sounds like it's going to be a good weekend.
I
so,
know,
yeah.
I know, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
Well, thanks
Yeah.
for watching, everybody. Episode 4 of Sound On. Always a pleasure.
It is.
Continue to let us know what you think in those comments below. We're on all the social media platforms.
Yes. We want this to be a two-way conversation, so if you have a topic that you want us to talk about in future episodes, or maybe you got a comment on some of the topics or issues that we brought up, we want to hear from you. And we might share those comments during a future episode too.
We absolutely will.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you next week.